Well, this is a late night Tru.F.Lo. Video. Welcome back to the bar. It's about 19 to 20 minutes after the hour, but 40 before midnight, so technically it's still a Wednesday video. Especially to those in Hawaii. Hello. Most of you have already been through Wednesday, but I'm still going to, kind of sort of break the rule and just kind of get it with just within midnight, just before midnight. So that's not Brie Larson, by the way. This is not Sarah Hyland or that other singer. I don't know who this is. This is just some model for Sparklets, Crystal Geyser, Arrowhead. I don't remember. Anyway, it's been a long night. I had a chili dog and some fries. When is it okay to simp? Now, I think Paul Joseph Watson posted something on Twitter about Prince Harry saying programmed things and his wife, Meghan Markle, watching his every syllable coming out of his mouth. She doesn't have, if Prince Harry's wife looked like this, I could understand him being like, oh yes, okay, okay, I must say these things and be whatever, okay, I'll do what I'm told. Yeah, it's not, I can understand. If she looked like this, I can understand, because look at her. Look at this girl, okay? I don't even know who this is. Tried to do an image search, couldn't find her. Anyway, we're all going to simp. Now, when is it okay to, and when is it okay not to do it? If I sat there and told you, yes, and I know the people who criticize me, you know who you are. Well, man, you could just say, let's not simp, let's not ever do it. If I said to you fuckers, let's not simp ever again, and everybody's like, yeah, all right, yeah, all right, yeah, right? And you clap like seals, like dumbass seals, and say, oh, look at us, okay? We're gonna do that. We're never gonna simp to that. I'll simp to that, right? But in reality, we're all going to simp. It's like Vinny Vinesauce told this story about. I think it was the Super NES online stream, and he said that he and his friend, when they were kids, they went to see Pokemon. Now this is Pokemon Red and Blue. I just recently downloaded Pokemon Yellow, the Pikachu edition, 3 or 4 days ago. Those games were 20 years old. Now, that was the 90s, okay? Those games came out in 1998 for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. They looked at it and said, nah, this is shit. Okay, we're not going to buy this. We're never going to buy this. So they ended up, Vinny actually bought Pokemon Red or Blue, and then his friend said, oh yeah, I bought mine about like an hour before you bought yours. They just compared the receipts and stuff like that. So they both simped in a way and bought the game. They said they were never going to buy it. So we have cocks and we want to fuck females and we're always going to simp. Now, when is it okay to simp? I think it's okay when you're not attached to her. Don't subscribe, don't follow her, but check out her channel, check out her Twitter, check out her TikTok. I talked to one female. She liked one of my posts, so I talked to her, but I have not followed her. I have not subscribed to her. So, as long as you just check out her profile and see what she's about, do an image search, check if she's got a boyfriend hanging around her, or fiance, or husband. Most girls would like to hide that stuff, especially when they're Twitch thoughts. They want to hide that stuff so you keep following them. By the way, could you imagine being in a room full of all those horny Twitch male followers or subscribers? It's like a chanting. They're all like 300 of them in the same room. What the fuck? It's one thing because you could just see, you see like here, like you see, like imagine she's a Twitch thought, right? And imagine this is the chat on to her left, all right? Scrolling up. Could you imagine if you were in a room, yeah, full of 300 people or 400 people like that? That would just be strange. You'd see like white stuff all over the floor. Ugh. And it would smell, the cum would smell so bad. Some people would just shit themselves, literally. It would smell like a toilet in there. It's like, oh, say more things, right? So that's weird. If you can agree with what she says, if she says something and you agree with it because you agree with it and not because you're horny to fuck her, okay. Let's say she likes Pac-Man. She likes pizza. She likes Godzilla. She likes chocolate milk. She likes candied yams and beer mixed together. She likes Iron Maiden. And you like all that stuff. Okay, that's a good turning point for you. So just like that, you get the girl, snap of fingers, and you can talk to her. You can chat her up. Now, but at some point, even if she likes you, she may get bored of you. I'm curious. There's this pretty girl I am talking to. I'm going to ask her that question. I'm going to say, why do women get bored of men? And when I get a good answer out of her, I'll tell you. But that's a really good question to ask, because I talked to one female recently. She lives in like a third world country, and she got bored of talking to me. I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's not my fault. Mostly because I couldn't speak Persian or Farsi, but that's her problem. So if you agree with what she says, you agree with what she does, short of putting on makeup and wearing bras, okay, ovulating, then yeah, I mean, why not simp for her, right? If she doesn't change her ways, you don't change your ways, you two like the same things, cutesy stuff, Mickey, Minnie Mouse stuff, okay, what's the problem, right? And you visit her channel, you visit her page, you visit her website, you visit her Twitch streams, okay. But it all depends on how many people are watching her too. She should have way, way, way less. Chances are if she likes you, she has about the same amount of people you do, or less, or a little bit more, but not like thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. So, and the other thing is that she should be talking to you personally. She should be chatting with you, talking to you on Skype, talking to you on Zoom, meeting you in person, talking to you over the phone, having a text message party. She has to want to be into you at times. Even if she's not ready to have a boyfriend or ready to be with somebody, she's interested in talking to you at least, personally, and not just, pay for a chat with her, pay for a super chat or some shite like that. Now, when is it not okay? When you're simping, you're compromising your values. So I'll give you a simple one, okay? Let's say you know the earth is round, and she's a fucking flat earther, and she says the earth is flat. Oh, okay. Like, what are you doing, man? That's not good. The other one is when you give her fucking money. Don't give her a damn thing. Now, it's hard to convince somebody who lives with her or who's married to her. I mean, when you're married to her, you're going to have to give her money because that's the bed you made. That's the tattoo you inscribed. So you've made that, I mean, what's the most obvious example of the dumbest simps? Okay, I'm going to say something controversial. Are there black people who would jerk off to that... what is it? Sandra Bullock's ex-husband. Remember that mistress that he had, that tattooed bitch with the swastika? Are there black guys or Mexicans or Jews that would jerk off to that woman? There may be. There aren't too many of those, but there may be a handful that would be like, oh yeah, I don't care. She's got a swastika. I don't give a shit. Okay, but understand. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with jerking off to pretty girls. Okay, we're all like that. We're gonna act like we don't do it, but we're all like that. But don't give up your principles for that. I mean, when I saw that girl, she had tattoos and she was naked and she had a swastika. I think the swastika was either on her arm. I think it was on her arm, like an armband. Oh, shit. So, yeah, I mean, I could tell you, let's never simp again, but we're all going to do that. But how much time are you going to give her? And also, too, you just tell her, I'm not going to put up with any bullshit. So if you're going to get bored of me, I don't have time for you. I want a female that can never get bored of me, even when I'm doing the right things. So I've seen that happen to a guy once where this girl told him, this was in Japanese class. She was 30 pounds overweight. Maybe I'd fuck her, but she says, "Oh, you're totally cute. You're like the kind of guy I would totally ask to go to the dance with me if you were just standing alone, like you were like the wallflower at the dance. I would totally go up to you and talk to you." That was her cutesy talk, week 1. By week 11 or 12, before people kind of dropped the class, he's like passed by. He kind of gives the peace sign because I think he saw him go by. They didn't speak to each other anymore. So the guy that was there dropped the class, and the girl was still there. Flaky. People are flaky like that. So as far as this is concerned, that's all I wanted to really talk about. I still keep this picture. So, I mean, look at her. Anyway. Simp like you're giving, your simp is your mental sperm. Okay? Remember that. You'd only give it to someone you really, really would feel like wasting your time with. And save your money and save your time and save your loyalty when you're subscribing to people. So the other topic I want to talk to you about was Reckful. Um, he seemed like a nice guy. He had hundreds of thousands of followers, um, and he had this game called Everland. And when I first saw it, it reminded me of the overworld for The Legend of Zelda, actually the Cadence of Hyrule. Do you remember that? The music beat, kind of reminded me of that, but that's not what this is. What this was to me, because obviously he's on Twitch, right? This looked like a way for him to share a 2D top-down world with his followers, with his chat. Um, I don't know if it was just his subscribers, paid subscribers, or everyone. But this was pretty. I mean, look at this world. I mean, I've seen all the reports. I couldn't get a good connection a week ago to talk about this topic, but I want to talk about it now. Um, Suicide is a hard bitch. It really is. Now, someone once said on Twitter that, well, anybody who says anybody who says suicide is a selfish act is stupid. Well, in a way, suicide basically is a selfish act. You're taking your own life, unless someone is helping you. Like I thought about my sister. My sister committed suicide, but I think her husband helped her. My brother-in-law, I think, helped her out doing that, and he was a sheriff. He was a fucking sheriff. He may still be a sheriff. I think he's a sergeant now. But police sergeants' wives don't just commit suicide. That's not a normal thing. And my sister just wanted to be loved. So, I mean, my sister wanted to be loved to the point where, she felt accepted. And she never felt accepted. She would talk back to my dad, tell him go fuck himself, or say the N-word, or give the finger. And she was just trying to she was trying to poke the bear. But she was having problems getting along with us as a family. And I would be in denial to say I never had the same problems. My dad abused me physically and verbally and mentally. My mom just sat back and watched most of my childhood. I only get one childhood. You don't get it back. Now, I can't say what it was. I talked to somebody on Twitter. I think the system killed him. I think between his family and his friends who weren't sure about what he was doing, I think he was just having so many problems. I retweeted something that his girlfriend had broken up with him. Now, was it because he was negative? Was it because he was having those demons in his head? I don't know. But his girlfriend had broken up with him, and he proposed to her on Twitter before he took his own life. Not exactly the smartest move in the world. But it's like, some people hated him for that. It's like, look, the poor guy was reaching, and he was reaching so bad that he was desperate. He was making these desperate moves that, to be honest with you, at 19 years old, at 20, at even 30 years old, I would have done those things. At 30 years old, I simped for female celebrities. I simped for famous people. And I hated my life. I hated my life so much. Once I got away from my family, I started to think clearly. I thought better. I acted better. But I still am alone. Okay? And that's the thing. I think Reckful was alone, even with all those people. Even with all these people. This was his world to share with chat. I mean, this looked like a cross between Animal Crossing, The Sims. I mean, look at all these people. They followed him everywhere. Now, some people can't fathom it. I still can't. I mean, Chester Pennington, a successful musician, took his own life. He had all those people. But to me, what kind of upset me wasn't the fact that he died because of success. He left his family behind. Chester Pennington left his family behind, his kids, his wife. And with Reckful, there were people he left behind. And he kept talking about suicide as I go through the archives. And I'm like, what's going on? He even had a therapist on. He had a therapist on to talk to live. Doctor-patient confidentiality goes a long way, so you may not want to do that. I think he just really, it was really hard. I don't know what it was that he got himself successful. But I think when we are in a position that we get hundreds of thousands of subscribers, or even millions, even Boogie, Stephen Williams, who has almost 5 million subscribers, admits he's got mental issues. He's got mental issues. I think the thing is that we have to take a look inside ourselves and say, something in my life went right. Now, I hold more sympathy for someone who took their own life if nothing worked out. If they couldn't get fans, if they couldn't get friends, if they couldn't get jobs, if they couldn't get anything for themselves. Nobody wants to give them a job. Nobody wants to give them a career path. Nobody wants them at all. Society does not want that person. Then they take their own life. I mean, look at the Japanese. Look at the Japanese. Does the system not kill them? If you don't do well in your job in a company in Japan, you got the stink of death. You are dead to other companies who would want to hire you. And then they see that you failed at one company. Well, dame. Nande? Nani o shite da yo? Why should we hire you? And that's hard for a Japanese businessman. Even females. I thought about suicide when I was in my teens, when my dad was physically abusive. Because my life is not great, I can not promise you that's never off the table. But I don't think about it as much. I don't think about it every day. I don't think about it every year, every month. I do wonder when I do have, because look, am I going to wait for my sister, my oldest sister, to take over this house when my mom dies and tell me what to do and change my life in her favor? Fuck no, I'm not going to do that. I am going to leave. But it's not death. It's not suicide. It's just going away from California and leaving. If my family has a problem with that, then they have a problem with that. But they're not going to baby me. They're not going to monitor me. It's not in their jurisdiction. I don't want to be told what to do. I'm 40 fucking 2 years old. I'm sure they don't want to be controlled. Why control me? We're at that point now where we can't tell anybody what to do. We can't control people anymore. We have to learn to earn. So Reckful, I don't know, maybe if we talk to each other, but you were too big a person for you to notice me. I think that I'm a bit of a sociopath. So I would say, suppose you did end your life today, won't all these people miss you? I mean, you've had the success. Suppose if you were, I don't know if he was, I think he was Middle Eastern, but suppose you could believe of the religion where, I think it's the Hindu religion that you come back as another thing in a directed path. What if the next life was bad, or way worse than what you had here? What if nobody cares if you're alive or dead? That's my life right now. I think that when we have success somewhere in our lives, it's very easy to say, I don't have this, therefore I will take my own life. I think what we have to do now is take a step back and think about how we can use that success to work for us. How can we do that? And this game that he worked so hard on, I hate when things are unfinished. Some people are angry that he took his own life. I don't blame them. I know that some people are being assholes on Twitter, but let them be assholes. They're gonna have to learn to not talk shit and understand that maybe he was hurting for some other reason. It could have been drugs. It could have been a chemical imbalance. It could have been people in his life. And it's just really difficult. But there was more to you, Reckful, than the girl you were dating. There was more to you than things that you have in common with your friends. There was more to you than just a chat. You have talent. You have skills, mad skills, to attract people to you. I've got not even 100 subscribers. I've never attracted people since the day I was born. I've had people hate me, people bully me, people spread rumors about me in high school, people try to act like a perv, and act stupid with me. I had school bullies, and that was tough. I want, and especially all of you subscribers, I want everyone to really take a step back and look at your life. I exercise. I just did 2,000 leg hurdles. I did 2,000 bicycle cycles. I did 30 minutes of stretching my legs and bending my legs. When you're jumping in tires and hurdling on tires. I did that 2,000 times, 1,000 for each foot, to get over my depression, to get over my suicidal thoughts. I don't feel as suicidal as when my dad was alive, but anyway, we have to strive to do better. We have to learn to be better. Stay away from Twitter. For all of you subscribers, I'm on there, but just don't even pay attention to the hate. The hate's not there for you. It's there for themselves. The right attacked the left attacked the right. It's a fucking election year. You know, it's going to be the Republicans are going to back off about being anal about this or that, and the Democrats are going to say, oh, it's okay to come out and breathe air. You can take off your mask now, even though it's after November. Yeah. So there's bullshit going on. Just let's try to find the common grounds that we can all like and embrace that. And embrace that in all the things like Star Wars, Star Trek, video games. Let's try to love, embrace one another. And I hope somebody can continue this. Please, for Reckful's sake, someone continue this. Finish this work. It's what he would want. He started primitive, and look where he got. Look at the journey he made. And you can do it too.